Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Wednesday, February 26th, and this is actually the second story I'm doing for the day. Just a little something that caught my eye earlier. This is from CNBC, and this was actually an article from the 25th. So, clickbait title, it got me. It lured me, reeled me in, baby, reeled me in. So here's what we got here. Trump is reportedly furious that the stock market is plunging on coronavirus fears. If you have money in the stock market, I don't doubt you're pissed off too right now. The last 2 days have been brutal, and from what I saw today, Wednesday, the futures are looking pretty bad as well, down about 1% to 1.5%, be that the S&P, the NASDAQ, or the Dow. So we'll see how things go throughout the day. We'll see what happens. We'll see if those losses hold, if we're in for a third straight day of bludgeoning. Well, let's get to the article, though. Let's get to this furious stuff here. President Donald Trump is reportedly furious that stocks are plunging, believing that health officials' warnings have spooked investors, the Washington Post reported on Tuesday night, citing two people familiar with the president's thinking. So here's what we always like to do when we read an article. We definitely have to consider the source. Left, right, center, what have you. Their agenda here is to put out stories that make Trump look a certain kind of way. We know they do that. We know they've been doing it. Other sites obviously have Trump's back in whatever they're putting out. But in this particular one, this one gets me as kind of odd. So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, let's look at this. The Washington Post reported Tuesday night, citing two people familiar with the president's thinking. So they cited people familiar with his thinking. Now, obviously, we're not going to go in and read the article. I actually tried to do that, but I ran out of Washington Post freebies for the month here. But it says here, familiar with his thinking. That would lead us to believe, if we kind of delve into that statement, that they don't even actually have actual quotes or actual feelings or statements from him. They're just talking to people familiar with his thinking. What does that mean? They're analyzing how they think he thinks of the situation. We don't take that as the gospel, that's for sure. We want actual evidence. We want facts. We want him banging on tables. We want him throwing stuff all over the White House. We want him smacking interns around like Klobuchar. We want actual facts, not just, oh, let's talk to these people who are familiar with the way he thinks to have them speculate on how he feels. We want facts. You know that, guys. Come on, girls. Facts always. Facts always. All right, so let's finish this up. The president has reportedly cautioned aides against forecasting the impact of the virus over fears that stocks could fall further. The Post said stocks plunged on Tuesday. Okay, we know that. They say the coronavirus is likely to continue to spread throughout the United States. We know that. They finally seem to have figured that out. And it's something that I've been talking about for weeks. And something that all of you watching this video, you no doubt have been on this longer than I have. You've been following this stuff for a month or two, no doubt. And you knew this stuff. Ultimately, we expect we will see community spread in the United States. Dr. Nancy Messonnier, director of CDC's National Center for Immunization and Respiratory Diseases, told reporters on a conference call. The Dow and the S&P dropped more than 3% on Tuesday. Yeah, we know that. Stocks are under pressure. Yeah, we know that. To me, if you are an investor out there and you have a long-term point of view, I would suggest very seriously taking a look at the market, the stock market. That is a lot cheaper than it was a week or two ago. That's true. You know what? Golf clap. Golf clap for that one. That is certainly a great way to put a bow on it. Hey, nothing to see here. The stocks are down, what, 5%-ish, 6% over the past few days? Oh, but that's just, things are cheaper than they once were. I love it. I love that way of putting a nice bow on it. Like I said, that's definitely some spin and a half right there, baby. Woo! And let's finish this out. We'll just check this part out real quick here. On Monday, the president tweeted that the coronavirus is very much under control in the USA and that the stock market is starting to look very good. All right, so that's the article. Just a quick one on that, something I saw on CNBC. I try to cover different aspects of corona than maybe other people may. So if stories catch my eye, I just kind of throw them out there to try to share them with everybody just in case you didn't see them. But this one caught my eye because of the title. And then again, when we read it, it's just lacking information again. I mean, is he really mad? Well, who isn't? Let's be honest. Trump's re-election, my opinion, tied entirely to the economy because there's so much negativity that's been put out there from the left that there's obviously this strong sense on either side, right or left. We love or hate the guy. His approval ratings on the Republican side are what were they, 90, 95%. With independents, I think he was kind of tracking in the middle. And then with Democrats, I believe he was kind of the opposite of Republicans. They hate his guts. If he doesn't have the economy to kind of prop him up, then that would make him really vulnerable. So I could see how he would be looking at this long-term view, how he could look at this and say, hey, this could be something that would really throw a wrench in my getting reelected. This is something that can really derail the possibility of a second Trump term. That's how he has to be thinking about it, because you know that it's only a matter of time. If things continue to slow, these numbers coming out of China are starting to look pretty bad. If things really start to slow down, then you know that everything's going to kind of come to a grinding halt. And he is the president in charge of this economy, so that's what happens when you're in that leadership position. If things slow down because of this, can you imagine that? He's coasting on his way to re-election, possibly, and then this happens, of all things, coronavirus, a global slowdown because of coronavirus is what halts your re-election. Wouldn't that be crazy? Something like this happens, Democrats are able to put the blame on Trump. Obviously, they wouldn't cite the disease as the reason for the slowdown. They'd be like, okay, Trump's in charge, it was his economy, so it's got to be his fault. And if this goes on for another month or two, you can really start to see Democrats probably start hitting that message pretty hard if they're out there on the campaign trail as it's getting later and later in their primary. I could see it happening. I could see it being a situation where Democrats are really willing to put this on him, throw him under the bus for this, and kind of ignore the whole humanity side of it in an attempt to be able to get to their ultimate goal, which is to win the presidency. Wouldn't it be interesting if this was something that led to a socialist president? The coronavirus gave us Bernie. So anyway, that's the video for today. Yeah, Wednesday is looking to be pretty bad so far. We'll see how the rest of the week plays out, but hopefully things turn around really quick. I never like to see a recession. It brings a lot of pain. The last one in 2008, 9, 10, 11 was really bad. A lot of people suffered. So hopefully this whole disease situation isn't something that brings the whole economy worldwide to a slowdown and really causes that pain for people. Regardless of whatever side of the political aisle you're on, I hope that you're really not rooting for that to happen. Like I said, that's the article. Let me know what you guys think here. Coronavirus, the downfall of Trump, maybe the rise of Bernie. Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching the video.